Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Daily Debate. My name is Ahmed Nader, and tonight we're going to focus on the transformation and the investments and the efforts of Egypt towards sustainability, and more specifically in the renewable energy, the investments in renewable energy in Egypt, and the efforts of the political leadership in having a better future in this field. And tonight I'm honored to be having with me in the studio through the course of the episode of the Daily Debate for tonight is Dr. Gamal Kaliouby, the engineer of petroleum. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Good night to you. Good evening to you.
Anytime. We will be starting straight away with the first report of the Daily Debate for tonight, as Egypt is walking the path of sustainable development in the field of energy. We'll be having more details in the upcoming reports, so stay tuned.
Egypt's current energy landscape is undergoing a significant transformation, with a growing focus on driving energy transition, ensuring energy security and decarbonization. The Egypt Energy Show, EGPAS 2024, is a key event that highlights these priorities. Egypt is positioning itself as a regional energy hub with a focus on climate-conscious strategies, including decarbonization and methane reduction. This comes as the Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources is working on diversifying energy sources for achieving development. Egypt faces several energy security challenges, including a growing domestic demand, reliance on natural gas for electricity generation, and the impact of climate change on energy supply. To address these challenges, Egypt has been exploring various energy sources such as wind, shale gas, and hydrogen. Accordingly, Egypt is working towards energy security by diversifying the energy mix, increasing the use of renewable energy, and developing infrastructure to support the transition to a more sustainable and diverse energy sector. The country's efforts and initiatives include boosting the share of renewable energy mix with a target of 42% of electricity production by 2035. Moreover, the country adopted the National Climate Change, the NCS 20, which aims to integrate resilience in infrastructure project and diversify power generation. The NCS 2050 proposes integrating climate resilience infrastructure projects and diversifying power generation to reduce the country's dependence on fossil fuels. Egypt is exerting efforts to transition carbon energy sources, solar and wind power, and is exploring the potential of green hydrogen to reduce reliance on hydrocarbons and meet its decarbonization goals. These efforts are crucial for Egypt to ensure energy security, meet its environmental targets, and contribute to the global transition to a more sustainable energy future. Egypt has further been encouraging the use of gas as a cleaner source of energy and as a significant step towards energy transition. During 2023, the total number of housing units benefiting from natural gas increased to 1.5 million housing units, which raises the number of beneficiaries of the urban natural gas service to more than 62 million citizens. Additionally, PM adopted a plan for the rapid spread of stations for filling cars with compressed natural gas, CNG, on various roads and axes throughout the Republic, which contributed to a significant increase in the number of stations to nearly 1,000 stations, serving about 534,000 gas-fueled cars. As Egypt thrives toward a low-carbon future, the country hosted the Egypt Energy Show, EgyPass 2024, which aims to accelerate the energy transition in Egypt. The overarching theme of the event is driving energy transition, security, and decarbonization.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I am honored to be having with me in the studio for tonight Dr. Gamal Kaliouby. Thank you very much once again for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate. I would like to ask first about the efforts of Egypt in terms of sustainable development in the field of energy and the investments that we have seen in the field of renewable energy. How would you assess those two fields under the tenure of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi over the past 10 years?
Well, you know, the story had been started when we have, I think that's not adequate system allowed to us to continue for our developments and fulfill the requirements of the population in Egypt. Our problem had been started in 2010, 2011, 12, and we come to the peaks of that one in 2014, which we have a shortage in electricity up to 6,000 megawatts.
Yes.
I think that's the base we have start. When you start solve and a really problem crisis this one, you need to put a basis for that one, and from that base you need to run faster to carry on to solve the problems and also forecast it. That you have a really decision to be in a safe situation and safe zone in that situation. I think the story in Egypt was a successful story, and I think that's published in all African countries. They would like to get the experiences of Egypt to transfer to these countries, which they still suffer from a poor energy they have. The part when we started in 2014, our renewable energy is not exceed over 1.5%. So if you have a contribution which is already based on produced electricity come from the fossil fuels, and this is a portion of that one is up to 97%. A huge part of that one, without no consideration to the calm weather conditions and the change in the climate itself, which had been recently up on the calm agreement in Paris, that had been convinced that all international countries supposed to be applied for that all expenditure allowed to reduce that carbon dioxide emission, which has become a really problem in all climate changes. And this is reflect to the fire in the forest and also floodings. A lot of a change had been appeared and destroyed a lot of countries. I think that portion of that countries, they have good economy using the results of the energy. Yes. And there is another countries, they are poor and they are suffer from the emissions coming to them, and they change their counts and affected in a crisis in their economy. Egypt had been started from the base to dedicated where their problems, and our problems is that we are a country had been concentrated to produce electricity up to 97% on such of fossil fuel, including oil, petroleum, and natural gas upgraded. So the philosophy had been started from where we are and where we are target and what we expected within certain time to change and come to solutions. And we have been started with updated our power plants to be upgraded in such a way to reduce the amount we have been used to produce 1,000 megawatts, which costed us $1 billion to create that one directly from the oil products in continuous with the natural gas. The way that Egypt had been started for exploration phase of gas to improve our production, which was shortly in 2014, we are producing up to 4.5 billion cubic feet of gas per day, and this is not full the requirements of the power plants, which needed a minimum 3.4 billion of cubic feet of the gases per day. To go for that one, they already expanded their expenditure for that part to go for new discoveries, and we already accommodate a good discovery of Zohr field, which come up with a huge number added values to our production. And soon as we reduce that one, we make a stabilization within 3 years to produce the development plan from that Zohr, and our goals to have adequate enough of the gas by 2018, and we come up to saturation of full requirements of population of the gas with 2019. In that period, which it's tough 5 years, the government get a really solution to carry on the whole infrastructure with a new vision. The new vision is converted all the updated new power plant to the complexity turbine products, which used 40% reduction of the natural gas used, which is save in the money also and save for the energy had been consumed by each plant. From that part, we already start to build 3 grand power plants in Prolos, in new administration capitals, and also in El Kuraimat in Peniswif. So the three power plant which had been built by Siemens, the German company, it's 3 power plants of the total 8 power plants in the global world, which had that type of technology, which allowed to reduce the consumption of the gas to 40% and compared to the standard power plants. And this is our technology had been used with the total forecasted production from these 3 stations, 14,500 megawatts. That in additional to a new maintenance program had been done in the power plant, in additional to also a new transportation net in compared to the old one, which is coming to a lot of problems, a lot of maintenance cost, a lot of heating missing. So in a new electricity plant, they already consider the high power of that electricity plant up to 500 kilo voltage, which allow to us to be ready for renewable energy, ready also to use the conjunction with the future nuclear plant in Daba, and also the new advantage of a distributed, balanced distributed of the power plants across the governments in all Egypt. In that infrastructure, we will be ready from 2014 up to 2018 that we had energy mix. And this is the second step of the solution, how to distribute our attention from a country already based our vision and mission to use the fossil fuels with 9% to be oriented country. And today we talk about 18.5% of our electricity is come up from sustainable energy. We talk about 3 branches. We talk about wind, we talk about solar, and we talk also about the hydroelectric, which it's our old vision. Since 1960 we have that hydroelectric in High Dam, in Aswan 1 reservoir, Aswan 2 reservoir, Isna Naga Hamadi, and also the new one, Asyut Canal. All that's 5 items which contributed 2,850 megawatts is already dedicated, and also all the all the maintain from the past, and we need to continue upgrade, we need to continue improve their maintenance efficiency. And that one, beside that, we have distributed our technology to create one of highest solar farm globally, and the second one in the Middle East, which Pinapan solar station, and this had been built in Aswan, Cairo highway. That's such of solar farm can create it and produced up to 2,000 megawatts directly from 3 main sub projects already updated, and also under increasing development, some of extra farms across. In besides that one, also we succeed to build a new wind farm, and that one is the first one in the Middle East and the third one globally, which Gamal wind farm. That one is updated technology and produce up to 580 megawatts with 3 sub-projects called Gamal 1, Gamal 2, and Gamal 3 with total turbines up to 290 turbines with very advanced turbine technology, allow also to monitoring and stop whenever that there is a passing of migratory which allow to avoid any damage may happen for such technology farm. In that one we have also, this is for execution project had been done. Totally in Egypt now we produce up to 6,690 megawatts just oriented from the renewable energy or sustainable energies in compared to the total we produce. In 2023, the updated breakdown distribution for the sustainable energy, we talk about wind up to 28% production from wind we produce electricity, 26 for the solar percent from solar. Also the total for this one is 24 renewable energy percent. We succeed to do it, and in totally we have 18.5% of total electricity production in the country.
Yes, Doctor, you mentioned a number of times the importance of the economy in terms of the renewable energy and in terms of investing by the private sector and by the government. You've mentioned the number of projects made by the political leadership, by the government in this field of energy in general and renewable energy in specific. But on the other hand, how do you see the share of the private sector in terms of investing in the field of energy in Egypt?
Good questions. I know exactly where there is also a lot of consideration had been done all electricity investment in Egypt, specifically for the renewable energies exactly, because you know a technology of renewable energy is specific for wind or even solar over hydro electric power. That's need also to share with a good investment, a good people. They have a lot of capabilities in terms of assets to invest in such not routine investment.
Yes,
it's a dedicated investment. So the 6,690 megawatt had been produced currently in Egypt. It's already executed. We talk about a part of government investment. We talk about 4,450 megawatt, and 2,450 megawatt is belong to the private section. So we talk about percentage wise, almost up to 39% is belongs to the private section, and still the government as the leading on the subject, because you know the problem in the beginning is belong to the old country. So what the solution is, a solution lead by the government to allocate a solution quickly and in high target performance to reach the goals. And to reach the goals that we need to expand our vision in Egypt to be from a country used and consumed fossil fuel to produce electricity to presently a country allowed to spread it and deal with international technology using the sustainable energy. So we lead with up to 60% in that such investment, and we succeed in that one. And up to 2023, I said to you that we already reached to 60% government investment in the sustainable energy.
Yes, Doctor, you mentioned as well that we have wind farms here in Egypt, and it provides clean energy for about 2 million homes. What is the importance of focusing on such an important factor for the renewable energy?
Specifically Egypt, in a specific area like Gulf of Suez, we have a change on the direction of the wind. And up on the last calm maps had been oriented by NASA globally. They show that the Gulf of Suez after Mexico and North Sea, we are the third, we are the fourth area in the world after Madik Hormuz or Hormuz tunnel, that we are the fourth area. We have a fluctuation and high frequencies in the wind in the Gulf of Suez. Up on that one, we try to use that from all the technology. We have one wind farm, which is very old. Had been to 2000, had been built in 2010, but unfortunately was old vision technology. Our government had been started that projects under the umbrella of Sustainable Energy Authority, Egyptian authority in Egypt, and we built one of a very updated one, which it's Gamal wind farm, using the fluctuation and the frequency, high frequencies in the wind on the area of Gamal, which it's before Gourdaga Red Sea governor. That area allowed to us to build a farm in 100 kilometers with 290 turbines spread in that area, allowed to us to produce that huge number of electricity, up to 580. And I said to you that's the second or third farm updated technology globally, which allowed to us to convert and merge that producing electricity to the nation net, which allowed to spread that electricity produced from such wind farm directly used across our nation net, electricity net. The second one, because you know, we totally produce from wind farms in Egypt. We have totally 5 farms. The first one, which Gamal Zid, the second one is Zafarana. Zafarana was built in 2011 with total 540 turbine. Unfortunately, still all the models of turbine fit the purposes of orientation, fan adjustment. The new one, it's already updated. The second one was the Red Sea one, which it's a private section. The third one was West Bakra, and this is 199 megawatts. We have also Emont, which is a private section. It's producing also up to 250 megawatts. So we talk about also Red Sea farm, which is producing 500. So the total I said 1,800. That's for all farms already executed. Under execution now still 700 megawatts for 2 farms. It's already under construction now, almost to be finished 2024. One of them, it's Red Sea, producing 500 megawatts, and we have also Emont 1, which is producing up to 200 megawatts. So the total 700. The upcoming under development, we talk about 2,450 megawatts from producing private section, and this is total farms up to 6 farms. Under planning up to 2030 that we planned to produce from wind power up to 28,000 megawatts. That our target as a country.
Yes, Doctor, you also mentioned the negative repercussions of the climate change on Africa in general, on Egypt in specific, and about 18 months ago we had hosted here the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. So in your opinion, the renewable energy and the projects that we are implementing here regarding the renewable energy sectors here in the country, what is the importance of them in terms of averting the negative repercussions of the climate change for the Arab world, for Africa and for Egypt?
Good questions. You know well that since we have been the COP26, which had been held here in Sharm el-Sheikh, and we have a lot of commitment as a country. I think that had been reflected continuously to the agreement had been done under the umbrella and monitoring of the Prime Minister himself.
Yes.
So the vision for that one, it will be oriented in 5 steps. The first one that we have as citizens projects under the umbrella of Prime Ministry for green hydrogens. We have a portion for decarbonization or carbon reductions, emissions, and that part had been committed that we are in transition zone from high producing of carbon dioxide emissions to low carbon dioxide emissions, and our plan is to reduce that number as soon as possible by converting all fossil fuel portion of that one to use a natural gas, because natural gas, in compared to the fossils fuel, we talk about 1/5 of total pollutions in compared to the carbon dioxide emission itself. The third, we have a commitment that we shall convert it to increase the portion of production of electricity through the sustainable energies, and that's our plan in the next 6 years with 2030, that our plan to produce electricity with 55% from the fossil fuel using natural gas. And the 30 and the 42% will be renewable energy, which is supposed to be zero carbon dioxide emissions, and 3% is up to the hydroelectricity is coming from the high dam and the rest of the other tunnels. So in that numbers, our target by 2030, that to transferring our country from a carbon dioxide emission high to the intermediate carbon dioxide emission-less up to 23, and from 2030 up to 25, we come to 2050 by zero carbon production, which our cycle is to concentrate completely in our renewable energy and use all the results and production from the renewable energy as a target for our country up to 2063, and this is our goals as a country, up on that commitment of the calm changing and the weather resistant supposed to be on place.
Yes, Doctor, allow me to be going to the other report of the daily debate for tonight, which focuses on the solar power plant which is being implemented and constructed in Nagah Hammadi in Egypt. We will be having more details regarding such an important topic and such an important field for the energy of humanity and for the future of Africa and Egypt in specific. We will be having more details regarding the renewable energy and the solar energy in specific in the upcoming reports. Stay tuned.
Egyptalum, a prominent player in the aluminium industry, partners with Scatec ASA to establish a sustainable and energy efficient 1 gigawatt solar power plant in Nagah Hammadi, Egypt. The Ministry of Public Business Sector, in collaboration with the Norwegian company Scatec, has initiated the necessary procedures to inaugurate a solar station in the Al-Haw desert area. The station takes its name from the vast empty desert region and its proximity to the aluminium factories in Nagah Hammadi. There is currently a high demand for investments in the governorates of Upper Egypt, particularly in new and renewable energy projects, specifically solar energy stations. This growing interest stems from the remarkable success of the Bimban solar energy station in Aswan Governorate, which stands as one of the most significant stations globally. President of the General Syndicate for Engineering, Metallurgical and Electrical Industries, Khalid Al-Fiqi, emphasized that the government's investment in this industry signifies a major economic shift in two crucial aspects. Firstly, it contributes to increased economic growth rates and the creation of job opportunities. Secondly, it helps decrease carbon emissions by utilizing clean energy. This advantage adds value to products, considering the global trend of importing goods manufactured using clean energy to reduce carbon consumption. Furthermore, the inauguration of the station in the desert area is expected to have additional benefits, such as the establishment of a new neighboring urban community. It directly supports the aluminium factories and opens up possibilities for expansion and modernization process. The modernization of existing factories leads to a significant boost in productivity, resulting in increased exports. The company's capabilities make it possible to enhance exports up to $500 million as Egypt aluminium factories have already achieved exports worth approximately 10 billion pounds with a sales volume of 130,000 tons. This initiative aims to reduce electricity costs for the company, enabling it to meet its energy demands and contribute surplus power to the national grid.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I am honored to be having with me over the program for tonight Dr. Gamal Kaliouby, the petroleum engineer. Thank you very much once again for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate. Before the break and before the report, we were asking about the importance of renewable energy in terms of averting the negative repercussions and the negative impacts of the climate change. But on the other hand, that it could be leading to economic growth, sustainable economic growth, the renewable energy and the investments in this field?
I think, well, that's, the story even in Europe had been started very fastly. They tried to merge between how the future, because, there is a really problem currently in electricity in Europe. And, the cost of 1 kilowatt, it's up to 3.4 euro, which it's, in terms of a rate and the sociality cost is coming too high. So up to that one, they already converted that situation up to the factories. So I think that's even a big agency like in Mercedes, like a big such of factories. They already converted portion of their production line to be, instead of the standard electricity which uses the fossil fuel to be running the operation, they used currently now the solar panels up to the updated technology, because Germany already set a final agreement last January that's closed the all nuclear plant there, because they already have some issues up to the investment in West Africa. So the plan is they proceed with build Europe electricity cable, which will transfer solar farms, will be built in Niger, in Mali, in also Senegal, to be merged in that electricity power collections, and that electricity power collection will be transferred through one big electricity cables across the Mediterranean Sea, pass to Adriatic Sea, up to the center of Europe, reach to Germany. And this is RWE, a big company in Germany, had been invested a lot of money for that part. Portion of that one, they already converted a portion of a solar up to the number of hours which allowed to them by the condition weather in Germany or in Central Europe to use the benefit of the solar radiation to be converted to electricity which be used for such factory. Being from that part, we had been applied the same story, like your reports had been highlighted, that we have a very an important manufacturing in Upper Egypt, which it's aluminum factory, and that aluminum factory was very essentially important in our economy, because we already use the benefit of aluminum for production, and also we already exported such activities of products. So in such a factory, they use to reduce using the standard electricity from the nation net, and they already started to build solar photovoltaics cell panels, which allowed to them to produce up to 1 megawatt, which can convert it to the benefit of the factory itself and reduce the consumption and a cost which be paid for in continuous for the standard electricity. Such application, we use it, like I said to you, other country, we had been set a target that by 2030, we have a plan to total production of the solar energies, produced electricity, up to 13,000 megawatt. Currently, we reach to 1,900, we talk about 1,900 megawatts and that's for the all executed projects currently. For the upcoming under execution, we talk about one solar farm photovoltaic station that's in Komombo with a plan for producing 200 megawatts. We have also one, it's called Apidos, and this is planned to produce 500 megawatts. Also under development up to 2,500 megawatts from 5 different solar photovoltaics stations under development by private section. And for your info, that's a portion of 11,000 expected planning in the future will be belongs to the private section to deal and invest in the solar photovoltaics stationary in Egypt. All application, or like I said to you, all application under spreaded. The petroleum section had been used in their oil field in the desert. They already used now the photovoltaics cells panels to produce electricity and to save. Such electricity is coming from the net, the nation net, and converted that one as a portion of the target to transferring to energy transferring stage. And the energy transferring stage had been settled by petroleum section and electricity section, and also still the country plan ahead for that one in beside to another application like green hydrogens, and also part of using the application of the solar and the wind application to produce electricity in factories in areas far away from the central of the country, also in area of agricultures, because agriculture there is a lot of application use the solar and the wind application to produce electricity.
Yes, Dr. Gamal Al-Kaliouby, the petroleum energy engineer. Thank you very much for being with us for tonight on the Daily Debate.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, and for your good contribution.
Anytime. And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.